Okay, welcome to the Waffle Podcast. I'm Carlo and I'm joined with my co-host, the man.
The man.
mystery.
It's Mitesh.
There we are.
I think we're getting better at those intros. For those of you who are listening on podcast, you might notice that my sound quality is a lot better. That's because I invested in a microphone. Because this
Finally.
is what we're doing. It's serious stuff, guys. As Carlo will probably get into later this episode. But yeah, man, how you been? It's been a while since we chatted.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, it's good. This week's been a bit long. I had my birthday this month, so that's been
Yeah,
quite
man,
good.
how was it? Like, I heard it got hijacked from a chilled night to a mad sesh.
I mean, family won't let you go, innit? Even lockdown won't stop them. No, I'm joking.
Typical. I mean, off the record, obviously, no one came down, right?
Yeah,
Wink, wink.
no parties. We don't do those things. We stay true.
We're completely illegal.
I mean, I get tested on a regular basis, so I'm all good. So, yeah. Other than that, and then we got a few more birthdays. Oh my god, we got a few more big birthdays. I got my auntie's 50th, and I got my cousin's 30th. But everyone's on the lockdown, so this is unfortunate.
Some madness, man.
How about you? How's everything been?
Yeah, man. I mean, it was Diwali this weekend, so it was really weird.
Happy Diwali.
Thanks, man. Yeah. It was really weird just not being able to see family and go to people's houses because Diwali, you're so used to just going out, meeting people, but this year we were just at home, and unfortunately it was a bit dead. It didn't feel like Diwali for me personally. So I'm hoping things are sorted by Christmas, because I swear Christmas is ruined like that. Fuck me, man.
See, I don't think they will ruin Christmas. I think they might extend this lockdown for another 2 weeks on top.
Yeah, I'm worried they will. But I don't mind that it's we're in lockdown, because I feel like we should be. But it's just one of those things, right? From a personal point of view, it's frustrating, but from a wider societal point of view, I guess it's okay.
So would you guys do like a Zoom call or anything like that?
No, I mean, we just did the normal, just calling everyone, sort of saying Happy Diwali, Happy New Year. Then we just sort of chilled at home watching a Bollywood film because it's Indian, and I started doing a jigsaw puzzle, which I'm still not finished. It's a super tough one for Marvel.
Okay. How many pieces?
So yeah, 1,000 pieces. But because the picture's really complicated, it's way harder than I thought it was going to be. And I was like, damn, this might take a good couple of weeks. But yeah, no. To be fair, it was a good weekend overall. Had a few days off work as well, so it was nice to just kick back and chill. But yeah, work's busy right now. Loads of people off. But yeah, man. Talking about COVID, we obviously had some news this past few weeks that there are vaccines being trial tested, and apparently they're very successful.
I mean, I don't know. One person's coming out 90%, suddenly another country's coming out 94%, and then 95%.
Watch, the UK one's going to be like 96, isn't it? Because we're just going to up it one.
The UK has secured 5 million vaccines.
Really? Was it from the Pfizer one or the other one?
I'm not sure. I think it might be Pfizer, but they managed to secure 5 million. And I think they're trying to test out a rapid testing program using the army.
Yeah, and I think that's in Liverpool, or is it somewhere else?
Yeah, I think it might be Liverpool because of the lockdown that they put in. But it's interesting. It's like
one thing that I'm really gutted about is that the share price rocketed both times when the vaccine news was released, and I didn't invest in any shares, so I'm really gutted.
Oh jeez, I bought into Rolls Royce.
Oh my god, I was gonna do that, and then I was like, no. For some reason, I was being held back. I was like, nah, let's not do it. But
no, see, I was debating, and then I bought it, and I told my dad, and then he asked me how much I bought, so I said I bought 1,000 or something, because I'm unemployed. I'm just trying to save up for the future. And then he had to go, and he goes, you should have bloody called me. I would have given you way more money. You should have bought 10,000. Because now it's crazy.
Isn't it over £1 right now?
It's over £1. And I bought in, so it went down to around 70p.
Yeah.
So I bought in around the 70s, which is not bad. Aston Martin, oh my god, Mercedes bought 20% into my Aston Martin, and now they've gone up. They went from 50 to 80 something. Yeah. And they're slowly increasing.
It's just a positive outlook on everything, right? I think I saw some of the oil shares went up. A lot of the airline shares went up. IAG, who own British Airways, they went up massively, to be fair, but
with this whole news of the vaccine, it is helping the economy a little bit. Everyone's not feeling like it's a bit
I guess all you need confidence back in like society and in consumers, just to get the ball rolling. Really, I think like people actually
a bit weird, don't you think? After
in
the
terms
election,
of
obviously Biden is now.
Oh yeah.
But then straight after the vaccine gets announced, it's kind of a bit.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness to Trump, give it to him when it's due. He was saying, or apparently he was saying, I don't know, man, like what he says, but he did say that apparently they were close to a breakthrough, and obviously, as you said, convenient timing. Just after the election, there's been a breakthrough, but obviously these are early stages. There needs to be a lot more rigorous testing done, but the first signs are really positive, which is good because at least like people who are in need can get vaccinated first, or I guess I'm assuming that's how it's going to be, and then it can go rolled out, and hopefully COVID will be over.
I mean, is there such thing as COVID over? I think we'll always be having to be scared of something coming in.
Yeah, I think like pandemics like generally are. This probably isn't the last pandemic in our lifetime. For sure.
No. Well, it is one of the hardest times we have to go through so far, I would say.
Yeah.
And we could come out stronger than this.
I know, but it's a tough one.
I mean, what's also tough news to hear is recently, today, a few hours ago, True Geordie put out his...
Oh my god, yes, I was watching it just before we came on here. Do you want to tell everyone the sad news?
So, the OG, the original True Geordie, he's moving from YouTube to Twitch.
Twitch? Come on, man.
No, see, it's good for him. He put out a good talk. He was saying about how COVID did affect him as well. There was 3 months no football. He couldn't do nothing. He had to rely a lot on other people sponsoring and helping him, which then made him lose control a bit of his show, basically. It would hurt anyone.
And I think obviously him and Lawrence have been putting in a lot of hard work with the show for a couple of years now, I think.
Yeah.
And I think they got it to a point where the production quality is top notch on that show.
No one comes close. No one comes close.
Yeah, no. And they're right. And for them personally, I'm really happy because they've obviously come a long way, and it's essentially what they want is financial stability with what they do, and they deserve it because they're amazing at what they do. But for me, as a general fan, I guess, I'm a bit gutted because that means if I want to watch them or the kickoff anyway and the sporting elements, I'll have to be on Twitch, and it's just another platform, and it's just faff essentially. And
it's I'll be honest, I don't watch Twitch. I watch clips
I've never watched anything
on YouTube, but it's I'm not gonna probably as much as I hate to say it, I'm probably not gonna jump over just to watch one person on a stream.
I think I might. I'm gonna try give Twitch a go with what they're doing because it's just one of those things now. It's become habit. Every Sunday now, I'll watch the matches, and then on the Monday or the Tuesday, I'll just listen to the podcast of them just debating really good stuff with obviously the guests and everything. I might give it a go.
It is very interesting. I do like him a lot. I appreciate everything he's done for the whole YouTube community and the stuff
one of my best mates. He's been watching him for years, and he's always been telling me listen to Geordie, he's amazing, and he is and they're great interviewers as well, which is the best thing. I wish I could interview like they do. They're amazing.
And interview the people he does, Tyson Fury. Yeah, who else? He had KSI, all the big stuff. Logan Paul after the whole controversy, the whole boxing, the time.
He's recently had Gymshark, the owner of Gymshark. Sorry.
Yes, I saw that one.
That was a very, very insightful podcast.
Yeah, Gymshark's also one of their sponsors. Just not sponsoring
us. As if they're sponsoring us though, and we got it. Gymshark did have a sale, by the way, but we're not going to put a link in the description or what you call it. But no, I found that interview fascinating. It's just one of those things. Gymshark are one of those companies where 4 or 5 years ago, they were we do gym wear, and now they're blown up into
everywhere.
Massive brand. It's gone from Ben, the owner of the Gymshark, said, it's gone from more hardcore gym focus to gym leisure, and the focus is still gym, but they're just trying to reach a wider audience, and I think they've done brilliantly.
Yeah,
with the way they've promoted it.
It went from everyone has to have 6-packs to like anyone can just look like themselves and then go into it, and it's like a more body positivity. Like as they were saying something before, it's like our gym wear isn't for those who are already fit and stuff like that. It's like for anyone who wants to come gym, like who wants to be there.
Gym Shock's a lifestyle now. It's not just a brand or a product. They put a lot of thought into it, a lot of and what they do with the marketing is just amazing. Like their social media is fire.
Oh yeah.
And throughout all the platforms as well, Twitter, Instagram, they do a lot of good stuff on TikTok as well, which is a massive platform nowadays. So yeah, credit to them in terms of what they do.
I mean, especially his story though, is like he said, he was like started sewing and stitching the stuff himself. He worked at Pizza Hut while he was working at doing gym stuff.
It's tough to set up a business.
Yeah, and he said he worked with a friend of his, and it was tough because obviously he was doing everything himself, right? Him and his friends and whatever. Now that they become so big, he has to now delegate the roles to people who he admitted does it better, like people who do it better.
And that's a big part. Like you got to trust people with what you've created.
Yeah, I mean, but then it's like his friend loved the whole grinding, and now that it's like reached that it's at a big point where he gives it, his friend wasn't interested anymore, and he was like, "I'm leaving," and he basically goes and his friend just starts companies again and again. He just
and he got a good payout. I mean, which was said, which fair play to him if he did start.
It's like 100 million or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, when he said a payout, I thought it was going to be like maybe $1 million. I was like, was that the point where it was 100 million?
Like,
what it was worth?
I think they were saying something like the company is valued at what, like £1 billion. Yeah, but obviously people, it's a company's worth, but not.
It's like assets, what they have, and like the brand as well.
So he was saying something. I think is like his friend wanted the cash there and then. It's better to say you have it there than just have a valuation which could depreciate like with nothing if there's an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it was just interesting to see how to grow in that mindset. Like it started from him being not happy with himself or with his size and everything, and then working hard to make a community, basically.
And the thing is, like, it takes a lot of guts to like start your own thing, and especially, I think what you always tell me about, actually, Carlo, is the sense that we're young right now. This is the time to take risks, and it's exactly what he said, where he was like, he was on like 30, where he's got responsibilities. He was like a teenager. He was like, let's put my all into this and let's see what happens. And obviously we know what happened. We know what happened. It's been amazing for him. But I thought that's something I really took away. Like, shit, man, this is, if you want to do something, take the risk now while you don't have those responsibilities.
It's like, obviously financial responsibility and all that's important. But then it comes down to a point is, are you happy where you are, or like, are you willing to go on a train and just carry on? But if you're passionate about something, if you really like something, why not take a risk and do something you like, or go and that extra further if you like into something you really care about? Like that's one thing. And it's like he had the entrepreneurial mindset. He had a passion for a gym, and he saw an opportunity, and he was like, "Let me do this." 100%. There was a gap, and you shouldn't be scared. Like what a lot of people are scared about is like, "Oh, I don't want to lose £1,000. I don't want to lose £2,000." But like, you're buying brand new phones. You're getting new equipment, you're doing new things, and I'm just like, there's more potential getting the money back from an investment, investing in a business that you are passionate about, and if you put effort into, then just buying one phone this year and then a new one comes out and you go buy a new one. Like,
and it's like not just investing in the business generally, like investing in yourself and what you believe and like what you want to do. That's the most important thing. Like when you're young, and to be fair, I mean, I say young, we're both still quite young. In the sense,
I mean, we are. But then it's like, well, I'm unemployed. You're working wherever it is, and we're all trying to get our means through and try to get to higher places as we are. As you know, I'm working in the background, work on projects that I'm building. You're working on your workplace, doing stuff from behind the scenes. Like we're doing this. This is a project in itself. This is helping us as people. Like,
and whatever we get out of this podcast, whatever it may amount to. It's something that we're putting effort into, and we want to do. It's just an avenue to, I guess, share our thoughts with whoever gives a shit, right?
Yeah, it's just like, it's not like we're important or anything. Like, as everyone's just like, who the fuck are we? Like, no one has to listen to us. But if you come across and you do find it helpful, you do like it, whatever it is, that's good on you. Like, it will make a change is great. But I'm like, it's not like we're pushing it wherever it is, which is fine. But in our life, there will be many things that we do feel really passionate about and really want to push, and that we really feel like this is what we want to do for the rest, and that's great as well.
Exactly. Do something you're passionate about, guys. It's really important. Like,
obviously,
you gotta like what you do, but make money as well.
Yeah, oh no, obviously you gotta make money, but obviously a key point that they did come across was the fact that he had a really good partner, a partner who stuck with him when he was building up from the bottom.
A partner who also runs her own businesses as well, and I think that sort of mindset sort of helps.
And she was very understanding. I think she was very understanding, because did
you hear about that thing where he was like, he had to go to America instead of meeting his parents, her parents or something? Yeah, that was. Well, I felt so sorry for her, but she understood.
But then it's like, he knows, like, okay, he's not the most romantic guy. He's different, okay, to some people, wherever it is. But he's literally like, I'll do whatever you want, but you pick everything, and I'll be there, and I'll do whatever you want. Yeah. As long as it obviously doesn't affect the business, wherever it is. But like, I know a lot of women out there who'd be happy with that. It's just like, he lets me spend whatever, and I can plan everything, and it's all hunky dory, isn't it? But
I think the takeaway I got from it is like, you don't have to be like that. You could be obviously a bit more romantic, and your partner, even if your partner does get annoyed in that situation, I would say it's fine, because it's natural. But I think the main thing is that they both understand each other, and that's the main thing. So if you're both on that same wavelength, that is the most important thing. I find it a bit funny that we're talking about relationships. I don't know about you, man, but basically. Singles, you know? But yeah, we know what we're talking about, right?
I think so. I mean, no one's ever experienced enough. It all depends on your lifestyle and what's going on and if all this. But it's like, what I've seen so far is what I see from all the top people that I respect and all this. Yeah. They've had people who stuck with them when they were down, and is also still there when they're at the top. Yeah. Like, it's obviously, it depends obviously how you are as a person, stuff like this. But like, I always love that story, which is kind of bad. It's like, it's just a story, but it's just like, you want that person to be there when you're building something, and not there when you have the finished product. Obviously, you're always developing where it is, but when you're there and you're working, you're grinding stuff, you always want someone there for you or with you, and like, gives you that motivation, that little push, that person. But then like, you don't want someone who's there to like just enjoy what you've worked hard for, and just, you know, don't know the
unless that is what you're looking for, then fair enough.
Oh no, you're looking for fine, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I get what you mean. Like, it's just the general, you want someone sort of there grinding with you rather than you're grinding for them. If that makes sense. That's the thing. But yeah, man, that was it's a really insightful podcast. I loved it. But I think there's something else I want to mention before we go on to whatever big thing you want to talk about, apparently, which is a big thing. But obviously, on the last episode that was never to be, we did mention the Marcus Rashford campaign. The campaigns that he's sort of campaigning for free school meals, which I think is really commendable. I think the whole country is behind him. Seen a lot of like tweets like Rashford for PM, and he's sports personality of the year, guaranteed. If it's someone else, then mate, shambles. Yeah. But the Mail Online classic, they put out an article, I think, on the weekend, comparing, commenting on the fact that Rashford bought 5 homes worth about 2 million altogether, but in a sort of a negative way, and that really, really pissed me off, and it pissed a lot of people off, because they say it in the sense that, hey, he's trying to campaign to end food poverty, but he's spending his money on houses. Now, from a footballer, first of all, you're earning like hundreds of thousands a week. Like
2 million's nothing to.
Bro, like what the fuck do you want to spend your money on? Like, come on, like what? Like you as much as he I'm sure he does give to charity, and I'm sure he does a lot for charity, and what he's campaigning right now is for governmental change. Like, that's a big thing. But for him to criticize him for spending his hard-earned money on what is actually a wise investment instead of just buying flashy cars and crap like that,
100%,
shouldn't be taken in a negative way. In fact, we should commend him. I mean, I think he came out and clarified, like, he's grown up with from a humble background. He said he wants to secure his family's future, but by getting into property, and that's such a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off that people, like newspapers like Mail Online, try and spin this in a negative way, because they always do this, especially with I think Sterling. This happened to Raheem Sterling. It happened to another black footballer. And you compare the article they wrote about Phil Foden when he bought houses, comparing it to what they've written about black players. It's like, what's the need? Like, why are you portraying that in a negative way, and one and the other in a positive way? Like, they're both grinding, they both worked hard.
Yeah,
they're just investing in things that they need to invest in, and it's just unnecessary. And I think it points to like a larger problem, that the fact that these articles are being published, because people might actually have like, well, we definitely know people have racist views, but it might be sort of racial undertones, and secondly, it could be the fact that they just want clicks, which again isn't a really ethical thing to do from a business point of view. So sorry for venting, guys, but
one thing we do know is that obviously newspapers are, as much as they say they're for the people, they are biased. Like, all news stations are biased. They have their own points, either left or right or wherever it is.
Yeah.
And as you did say, that it is a lot of coloured people who have been targeted in these type of things. You don't really see a lot of other people getting attacked for their purchases and things like that. It is unfortunate. The thing is, I don't see anything wrong with someone buying a house, because we wouldn't stop anyone else who wanted to buy a house.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd love to buy 5 houses, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
If I had 5 houses, I'll just rent them out and relax for the rest of my life.
Yeah, like, why would I be working, man?
Yeah, there's nothing else to be worried about. Like, yes, he's a football player. He kicks a ball and he trains hard and he travels and he does a lot of things, but he's worked hard to get there to a position he can do. The fact of being charitable and trying to support others doesn't mean he has to then go live a life of poverty or anything else. There's nothing like that. He's worked hard for where he is. He just wants to give other people the foot up and the help to get to where they want to be. If it's from school meals, which can help energize a kid for the rest of life and like give them an easier life, go ahead and do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't understand how you can connect £2 million to him being a tyrant, buying houses and stuff like that. It's literally not the same thing.
I know, and it's just frustrating that shit like that is still written and unfortunately gets traction, because as much as people have lambasted it, I'm sure Mail Online have got a lot of clicks from that article and a lot of ad revenue because of it.
Listen,
but I just question. It's just questioning.
Publicity, whatever they do is, if they get the clicks, they get the clicks, which gives them the money.
Exactly.
They don't need anything else.
They can say that to the advertisers, that, hey, look, we're getting the clicks. You wanna buy the ad space or not? And I mean, for them, it's a business, right? But just from an ethical point of view, they should have a better understanding. And I just question the motives of like whoever wrote the article, whoever asked for the article to be written, and who published it as well. You know, like, what was the thought process behind that? You know.
But then it also sometimes goes above the people who are writing the article, because like it's their job as well. They need to get stories out there. Now, if their editor isn't happy with what they've been putting, they need to find something juicy enough to get onto there, and then also pushes them to then having to maybe break stuff that they're not a fan.
But I wouldn't say the Mail Online is like in a difficult place. You know, it's one of the biggest. Is most visited, like one of the most visited like online newspapers in the UK. So I wouldn't say it's a really big of an issue for them. And again, which makes me a bit more frustrated, saying, why did they need to do this? If it was for clicks, was it really needed?
I mean, why does the Sun have to put naked women on the page 3? It's like,
they stopped that, right?
I think so. I haven't bought a newspaper in.
I'm pretty sure they stopped that a long time ago.
But like, you get me? Why did It's just
it's for the money, man.
Yeah, like,
which is sad. But I mean, while we mentioned Rashford, for those you don't know, he has partnered with Pan Macmillan Books, Pan Macmillan Kids, to start promoting a book club, and also he's going to release a book at some point next year, about I think it's about sort of being the best of yourself. I don't know the details of what the book is going to be about, but it's a really interesting partnership to essentially promote reading among kids, because it's something that he said he only started reading properly when he was 17, and it opened it opened his mind to a lot of different ideas and lots of ways of thinking. And reading in general is so important. Like, I've had conversations with, I think me and you might have had this conversation, and I've had this conversation with loads of other friends, that I need to start reading more, because reading, whatever it is, like non-fiction, fiction, it's important to like develop your knowledge and understanding of the world. And I think the fact that he's partnered with Pan Mac Kids to promote reading amongst like primary school kids and kids in general, I think it's amazing. So hats off to him. He's doing an amazing job. My PM, as they say.
Nah, hats off to everyone who works and helps others around them. Like, anyone can just sit there and help themselves, especially during this time. Like, to get generosity and to find people who are willing to help others is very rare.
Yeah.
And to those who are still helping out and doing things, like, it is respected and appreciated to go out of your way to do things. Like,
definitely, man.
Too many people think about themselves and let the others sink instead of.
We need to be, as a society, we need to be more compassionate.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And when that happens, honestly, everything will fall into place. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen because people are greedy. Which, again, it's a very complicated issue, because if I had lots of money, I don't want to keep the money as well. So, yeah.
No, but then it becomes down to a point of, I think, I forgot who it is, so don't obviously hold my word to this, but it's like, I think it might be Bezos. So Bezos gave...
Do you have a quote for that?
I don't have a quote.
We don't do fake news here.
No, it's not fake, but it's like he gave some millions of pounds or whatever it is to a charity, right?
Yeah.
But then everyone started then comparing, saying the money they gave is like the value of a normal average wage person giving like pennies.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why does that make a difference? I don't get it. Why people have to start comparing? Why?
I think I've seen a lot of like videos about generally wealth distribution and like whether a billionaire existing is ethical. And I get the point in terms of, I get where those people are coming from. Like, literally to him, it's peanuts. Like, it's nothing to him. But like you said, like, that's a lot of money. He didn't have to donate it. And I think that just falls into a wider conversation. Like, what should billionaires do with their money?
Yeah, but then it comes down to, like, he's worked hard to get to where he is. It's like, it's like, if you guys don't like him being a billionaire, stop fucking buying Amazon stuff.
But then is the world set up to obviously favour people who are billionaires? And I think a lot of people are pointing out, like, whether being a billionaire is something that's ethical. Because from just a survival point of view, like, you do not need £1 billion or dollars. Like, you can live a very, very, very comfortable life with like half of that money, a quarter of that money. So you don't actually need the money, and it's the mechanisms in society that allows people to accumulate that much wealth. Is that a good thing or not? And then, I don't know the right or wrong answer, but it's something that's worth understanding and like researching more, I guess.
That's what I like. If I was to defend or like just to give my point, it's just like, I don't see anything wrong with there being billionaires, as long as they're willing to pay their taxes, willing to stick within the lines. Because if you got that much money, you shouldn't really need to be running around hiding all these assets in other places, because it just doesn't make sense to me. What, you lose £1 billion if you already have 92 billion?
But that's the thing that they do hide the place, as you know.
It's like, I have the idea of a billionaire, I have no issue with, but what they do with the money to keep it and stuff like this. It just didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me in the sense that why does £1 million or £1 billion make a difference to you if you have £200 billion or 100 billion? But you get what I mean. It's like it doesn't make sense.
I think it's also, it's principle, and I think going back to what I was saying about when I mentioned that, would I give it if I was rich? On it, I'd love to say that I'd happily give like loads of money away if I was rich, but if I had like £100 million, like I'd want to protect it if I've worked hard for it.
No, see, if I was to,
it's the point of like greed. Like it's easy for us to say now, like we could generally like be good people and give the money if we had it, but it's easy being in a position where we don't have like 100 million or £1 billion. So if we were, would we actually want to give it, or do we want to protect it and keep it for ourselves?
See, that's tough. It depends on how you've grown up and like scenarios and surroundings you've been in. Because like me personally, what I would like to think is that, well, I mean, I've given a lot of my money to friends and family that I know and stuff like that. But like, I would like to think that, say, if I was ever given, not like, okay, £1 million technically it's not that much. Okay, it's like £1 million. It goes easily. You pay that towards the kids' education, a quarter of that towards the kids' tuition. Then you've got other expenses, like £1 million ain't much.
Buy a house.
But say if you had £1 billion or whatever it is, and you had some sort of income to generate money again, and then you solidified your assets and everything else, helping people like my family and stuff would be my first.
100%.
To help them, to bring them up, and then helping other people. I got no issue. Because I have no problems giving money away. As long as you know that you're secure and that you're in a position where you can keep giving money away. You don't want to give all your money and then be left with, I need people to give me money. Or if something bad happened, like say COVID, and you started losing your business, but you gave everything away already to charity and friends and stuff. That's not helping anyone, but instead puts you in a situation where now you're needing a Samaritan to come in and help you. And sometimes you're not as lucky as that to find someone else who's willing to do the same thing.
Exactly.
But like anything more than $1 billion, $2 billion, like come on, we're being a bit crazy here now.
You don't need it. I don't know if you've ever thought this, but like, I just like imagine scenarios where if I won £100 million, what would I do with it? And honestly, like I would give a substantial amount of it away to people in my life that I care about and who are friends, and then obviously keep quite a bit of it as well, just for me. And then obviously try with the other part, try and do something good in the world for it. Like you said, either make something that's sustainable, that can generate money in the future, and then slowly like sort of help other people in whatever way that is.
It might sound weird, but like I've actually been having thoughts like that. It's like, if I had money, if I had this, what would I do? And like deep down, like in my head, that's been running around. It's like, so my cousin's married to a guy, and it's been like a year and stuff like this, and like they're in their 30s, and she's turning 30 actually soon, and all this. In my head is like, okay, soon, like if things go to the plan that they want and stuff, they're living in a flat right now. If they had a kid or something like that, like it's the fact that it would probably hit me, like in the sense that I would then be an uncle, and that I know that I've had uncles who have been shit and those who have been good, and like I would want to be an uncle who can be there, and then say if they ever come into difficulty, like to be there to back them, or to like, even if it's financial aid, like to give like say £1,000 or something, be like towards your kid, like in the future, like save it, do something. Like I would love to do something like that. But then also I have my own selfish side of me and my cousin yesterday were researching private islands for less than £500,000. Like we were just looking at useless stuff. Like that's the thing. And if I ever had that much money, I would probably create Warzone on a private island where we will parachute in and have paintball guns and shooting everyone.
Okay, and priorities. Like,
you get me? Like I would love, like I have those type of mindsets type of thing. But obviously, you got to secure yourself to be in a position where you can help others and not harm yourself into such a state that you then need the same help. Because otherwise, you're then just loaning money. You get me? Like.
And I think what you just touched on there is like securing yourself. It's something that before you can contribute, it's something that is really echoed with me ever since like sixth form. So when I was in my final year of sixth form, I used to volunteer for a charity in my school that used to help an orphanage in Nepal. And one of the teachers that set up the charity, like he literally did it himself along with the help of another teacher. And he literally, we asked him about sort of how did this come about, and he said to us like the main thing what he wanted to do is make sure he's financially stable enough himself, and then after that he was able to set this up. And it's not a massive charity, but you know what, he has made a difference to a lot of people's lives. And that's something that I still continue to this day, that that charity at school still exists. I was lucky enough to be a part of it and volunteer for it when I was at school. But it's crazy. Like he didn't, like, you could do this. You can volunteer now. You can do loads of other stuff. But if you want to make an actual difference, I think a massive part is, securing yourself, making sure you're okay, and then being able to create a bigger impact for those around you. And I think it's like a combination of those things where, yeah, you can volunteer, but also work on yourself to then be able to help others in the future.
Yeah. I mean, like, touching on, like, say, like, gym show and all this, if you think about it, it's like, personal life is the same as running a big corporation business. You gotta still budget what you're spending, how much you're getting in. You gotta then think about the people around you. You gotta think about, like, birthdays, parties, things like this, like marketing, like small things here and there, isn't it? It's like there is a big relation between a normal corporation and their personal life. And then you got to think about, like, if you were to give so much money away and you weren't able to bring it back, you're not sustaining yourself, and a business wouldn't be able to sustain itself that way.
Yeah.
And that is a bad way to think, but, like, you do need to think of your way as a business as well. It's like, you could be the nicest person in the world, give away all your money, but then now when that money dries up, what are you left to do? Like, you're not helping anyone else. You're not being able to do anything for anyone else. Like, yeah, you're just not being able to continue what you like. So yeah,
it's money in general is a very tricky issue, but I mean, as listeners, guys, what do you think? What would you do if you were in Marcus Rashford's position and you were on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week? What would you actually do with your money? I'd love to know.
Would you save it? Like, there's many things to do.
Would you give it away? It's a tricky question, really. People say, like, they can do a lot of this and that, but if you actually have the money, what are you going to do with it? So, I mean, let us know, guys, what you'd want to do with it. But I think moving on, Carlo, there's what I mentioned earlier. There's a massive topic that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I guess it's all yours, man.
There is a massive controversial topic coming up. And,
damn.
No, I'm joking. But it's like, okay, so recently Vogue released their cover with Harry Styles, the former One Direction singer, and he's in a dress. Now, I don't see the big issue, but a politician in America has come out with a statement saying, why are we trying to get rid of our manly men? Like, what happened to the old school version of a manly man?
Yeah.
And why are we trying to feminize all our men? Now, there is a big hoo-ha about it, and this will go into another topic, but yeah, there's a massive hoo-ha about it where people weren't happy with what she said, saying, why do men have to be this whole hunking, like, man type of thing?
Yeah.
And why can't they wear dresses? And see, this is what confuses me, because everyone's talking about this. Like, Logan Paul was talking about it. A lot of people brought it up, and I'm just like Ben Shapiro was talking about it, but he was talking at a point of defending her, whereas Logan Paul was talking at a point of going against her. Now, wearing a dress is nothing new. And what I mean by that is not everyone obviously is going around wearing a dress. Like, we're not going around wearing dresses.
Yeah.
But for a celebrity to go around and make a statement by wearing dresses is nothing new. So what Harry Styles is doing is nothing new. Young Thug has done it. Many other people have done it.
Yeah.
And I don't see why people are coming out making it a big thing, saying, oh, it's a massive step in the head of masculinity, becoming more feminine and all this. Because it isn't. Other people have done the same thing, and other people have either been bombarded for it or have been accepted for it. Yeah. Like, Young Thug has been known for breaking the boundaries of dressing. Like, he is known for dresses and for wearing other clothing which may look more feminine in people's eyes. But then it comes down to the talk of what is feminine and masculine. Now,
bro, that is that's deep, and I need to do some thinking.
Yeah, it's like
about that.
Back in the day, if we talked about it, like if we looked at you right now, back in the day, people used to think long hair was more feminine, right? You'd have loads of girls would wear long hair, but nowadays a lot of people are wearing man buns.
Yeah. Guys, I've got a little pony there. Yeah, I think that's what we call it.
There's nothing wrong with having long hair or anything. It doesn't define a person. It doesn't mean that they're a massive girl or not. Like it makes no difference. But same with other girls, like if they want to play football, it doesn't mean that they're super manly or anything. It's a sport. Like, you get me. But I feel like to have opinion in today's society is dangerous, right? Because they tell everyone you're free to your opinion. But if your opinion doesn't match up with the majority, then you're wrong. Yeah. Now that is how I feel.
I hate cancel culture, man.
Oh no, I hate it. But I feel like that is what today's society is. It's like, I don't see the dress being a big thing, but I don't see why you have to push the fact of to wear a dress makes you manly as well, and it's suddenly this, like, you're pushing a narrative which isn't really needed, but isn't unneeded. Like, it's kind of a hard topic to talk about without people getting conflicted and being pissed about.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, you don't need to push the idea. I guess it's good for the sense that if Harry Styles is doing this now, I don't know the context of what the article or the cover was about. What's the artistic story behind it? Yeah. But just from a general point of view, if he's wearing a dress, that's fine. If he wants to show that people can wear dresses, or as men, we can wear dresses, it's fine. If like a young boy wants to wear a dress, it's fine. But I get there's also that side where it's like, shit, man, like, does it need to be said? Like, some part of me thinks like, yeah, it does need to be said, because these things aren't accepted. And if you have like role models and gatekeepers, talking about this sort of stuff, it becomes more accepted. But at the same time,
but then wait, it comes down to a point, like, say, okay, this whole idea of masculine and femininity, it's not a Western culture, right? It's not like from the first world nations, like, we're all coming up saying this is what a man is, this is what a feminine is. Like, that's not what brought it. Like, if you look at tribes, if you look at society around the world, everyone had a definition, right? Yeah. Everyone had, like, the men would hunt, the women would stay at home, or the women would dress in this way, men would dress in a certain way. Like, if you had a boy, a little baby boy, people would mainly put him with trousers. You get me? Instead of skirts. Like, that is how society has managed to grow its people. Like, and it's not like we put it in people's mind. It's like, for some reason, through biology, through time, everyone has diverted into those aspects. Like, it's not us telling these tribes go and do this. They've gone and done it themselves. Yeah. So I don't think it's like something where we need to push going, men should be a bit more feminine and should be more understanding, because that's a bit sexist. Because now if we go and tell a woman, you need to be a bit more manly to be in this scenario or something like that, hundreds of people complain saying this is sexist, this and that. But for some reason, to tell a man to be more feminine isn't sexist. I don't get the point. Because there's many other things, like if you were to talk about, say, workplace and stuff like this, if a man was to do certain things and a woman did the same thing, the man would be condemned. Yeah. Like fat shaming. Take fat shaming. Fat shaming is a massive cause. Like, say if you were to tell a woman is a bit bigger or chubby, people would slate you, saying you're horrible, you're all this. But the same people will go in and say, oh, this actor looks a bit fatter, this male actor looks a bit thicker. And
it's how we casually cuss Fat Ronaldo. Yeah. And
the fact you have to call him Fat Ronaldo.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean. Like, we shouldn't be calling, because he has amazing achievements. But what I'm saying is, like, a lot of people generally, like, refer to him as, oh, he's fat Ronaldo. Whether you think that's a bad thing or good thing, it's like, it's a lot more. Although it's bad, it's a lot more. No one makes a big deal out of it, and then it comes to the question. What I think, whereas, like, what you were saying about, hey, if we fat shame a woman, it would be really frowned upon nowadays. Is that the problem, that it's frowned upon now, but you can't do it to a man? Or is it the fact that we don't see a problem of fat shaming a man, but we do a woman? And I think that's where it's like, you need to take both things seriously. We as a society take fat shaming women a lot more seriously now than we ever used to. That needs to be applied to the guy as well, because when you think about it, it is a big deal. And if it's a big deal for a woman, it should be a big deal for a guy. You shouldn't be able to fat shame him. I shouldn't be calling Fat Ronaldo. I should be saying he's Ronaldo, the Brazilian footballer. Like, he's amazing, but I'm not gonna chat shit about him. And he was like fire back in the day. But
I just think it's like, it comes down to the thing of this whole wokeness, this idea of being woke. Like, it just annoys me. It just perplexes me. It's like the idea.
What about it annoys you?
It's like every year we have to be woke. We have to be open to other possibilities. But then if you go against those ideas, suddenly, oh, you're not woke enough. You're an old guy. You're all this. You're not opening your mind. But that's not the case. It's like, I don't.
Do you think people want this change too quickly?
No, I don't think it's that. It's just, I just feel like no matter what you do, you're putting labels, right? People complain that men are dominating the workplace, men are doing a lot of things, and statistically, yes, men are higher up in certain areas in the workplace and stuff. Not in all places, but in most places they are. But then it also shows that if you look at the percentage of people applying for certain jobs, there are a lot of males compared to females. Like, if we look at it, the computer science industry is dominated by males. There is very little to known females who are in the area.
But this then goes back to something that I've talked about with my friends a lot, where it's like, that's true right now. I'm assuming you know about computer science more than I do, that it is probably a male dominated industry, right? If you go to a university class, how many females are there going to be a part of it?
Yeah.
Maybe not as many. But then,
I mean, I've been in those classes. Like too.
But then that's not anyone's fault. Like, the company should hire whoever they have in front of them. But then the question is, why are those roles going towards men? There are certain things, certain physical attributes that men are better at than women, and women are better at than men.
Yeah.
But something like computer science and coding, from a biological point of view, there's not really a difference, right?
Yeah.
A man should be able to code the same as a woman, and vice versa.
It's been shown that women are actually smarter than men.
Yeah, exactly.
They actually do a lot better.
Yeah, and inherently there's nothing like stopping women from getting into that field. Yeah. But the question is, you got to ask, why are women being deterred from applying to computer science roles? Is it something that they don't see at school age as a career path? Is it, or as an industry, or are they not investing enough in promoting this to all areas of society, and females especially? So there's, it's there are so many strands to this topic and so many different areas we could talk about, but it's a difficult one. Like, you could, there's so many branches to this that it's hard to sort of stay on topic as well. Yeah. But coming back to like wokeness, I feel like for me personally, progressive, being woke is seen to be progressive, right? Yeah. It's the general thing, and there's nothing wrong with being progressive. Like, as a society, we progress and our thoughts evolve, and naturally, what people who are right wing think is, really blasphemous. Like, for example, gay marriage. Like, for someone who's progressive, fairly, they would say, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's calm, like whatever. But then from what you were saying, where if sometimes now you don't understand certain things, like, okay, why does Harry Styles need to dress up as in a dress? Like, what's the need for that? That might be, again, I don't know the context of behind the cover, but that might be him trying to promote something to a certain group of people that we might not see. We don't really see at the point of it, but then that's because we're not as progressive as other people. And I think everyone's on that journey to become, naturally people will become progressive, because as you educate yourself more, you just naturally have different ways of thinking. But then it's sort of like, what I don't like is people hating on other people and cancelling them just because they have a view that's not as progressive as theirs. Like, it's a journey. You know, if you met me when I was in secondary school or college, I'd be like way homophobic. Like, I'd be like being gay doesn't make sense, whatever.
But that was the time frame. Before then, we weren't really open.
But exactly, but it's educating yourself.
Yeah.
And you know, now, if you ask me now, I don't have a problem with gay people. I think like gay marriage is something that should be allowed in a lot of countries. But again, that's a 6-year time frame, which I've grown.
No.
But it's when people need to allow people to grow and understand instead of, like what you said, just cancelling them.
Okay, keep that in mind, because there's a couple of things I want to point on is that.
Sorry, I rambled a bit, but again, it's loads of things to talk about.
No, but it's like Vogue has been very controversial. I think Forbes has been as well. I think they posted. Do you remember that lady? She was a morbidly obese lady who they put on the cover to promote women of plus size nature, like those who are plus size.
Is this Vogue? I don't remember it, but
okay. No. So they posted this lady to promote plus size, and then everyone thought, oh yes, this is the way. This is plus size. This is great. We're getting people of natural sizes out there and all this. Now see, there's nothing wrong with having natural sizes out there. There's nothing wrong with pushing the boundary to get a message across. There's nothing wrong with that. When you're trying to say this is how people should think, there is then an issue. The way I see it is the fact that this lady that they put on, yes, or plus size, but she was morbidly obese and not healthy. Now, she looked nice, she's beautiful. I'm not saying people who are big aren't beautiful. They're gorgeous. I love big women and all this. But then to come out and say she's healthy is wrong. You can't say she's healthy because she's not. It's scientifically proven when you're bigger. And I'll be honest with you, me and you are bigger people as well. Like I am.
We could do a trimming down. Personally, I think I could do.
Bro, I've weighed myself. I am obese. I've been tested as obese. Like, it's nothing horrible. I'm not saying anything wrong, but I do need to look after myself. And to be of a size, it might be, yes, it's mind-blowing putting people like this on a cover, but you can't say, what I feel like a lot of people go from is, say if you go fully right, to then suddenly go all the way to the left and not find a middle ground.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I feel a lot of people are missing is, to be super skinny isn't normal. To be super big isn't good for you either. Like, both sides ain't good for you. They all have their own negative aspects. But same, like, to say a man should be super feminine and a man should be super masculine is also wrong. There should be a balance, right? A balance of both. There should be a way of thinking. It's like, the left is like, if you suddenly think of a middle that isn't theirs, right? If you be like, you know what, maybe Vogue shouldn't put, like, someone who's morbidly obese. Maybe they should put someone who's like not average is the wrong way to say, but someone who's like, say, who fits a certain category, which is normal, not
size 14, size 16, something
like 18, 20 to 16 or 20 to 14, something like that. Like, that's an average size that gets both aspects or something like that. That's different to the normal size 8s and stuff that are put on these things. That's fine. That promotes. Yes, they are big women. That's fine. There's nothing wrong. I know big women who can bench and stuff like this. But you can't show someone who's morbidly obese and then have an issue with it. Like, take Adele, for instance. Adele lost so much weight, right?
Yeah.
She looks fantastic when she was big. She looks fantastic when she was slim.
Yeah.
But people slated her for losing weight. Now, I don't get that. I thought everyone was woke. Everyone cares about what people look and was like, oh, you look beautiful as you are. But the minute she lost weight, people slated her, saying, why'd you lose weight? Why are you against fat people? Why are you there? I'm sorry. I didn't know trying to look after yourself was against the woke mentality. Like, this type of shit pissed me off. Having an opinion or, like, stuff pisses me off, because the fact is, they tell you, oh, any opinion's valid. You can have an opinion. But then if it doesn't match mine, it's not a valid opinion then.
But yeah, like I said, like, if it's not progressive enough, then, like, you're slated for it.
But then it comes down to a point is, when does this shit stop? Like, when does this fucking shit stop? Like, gay marriage is great. I have nothing wrong with it. Gay marriage was a good way of moving forward. That's fine. But then when you're pushing on, like, unhealthy stuff, like, be super big and it's fine and all this, it's not. Like, it's been scientifically proven that when you are bigger, you are more likely to health issues. Yeah. And to try and cut down. No one's saying you have to be a size 8 or you have to be with 6-pack abs or you need to be that big honcho person. Like, no. Just be healthier to have a healthier life.
I think, you know, it's when it comes to like body positivity in this sense, you know, there's a fine line between what people are trying to say, like, hey, it's okay, all sizes are fine, when in reality, you know, like you said, like being super big and super slim do come with their health problems, and generally speaking, you know, people should work out and be healthy. Now, if you're a size 14 or a size 16, you work out and you're healthy, that's completely fine. If you know your body, and I think generally what people want is them to be comfortable with their own body types. Yeah. Because not as much as you exercise, some people won't be super skinny. Yeah. But at the same time, like you said, people take that to an extreme and say, you can't call... You know this person's like what you said about the cover, morbidly obese, and that's completely fine, when in reality it's not. It's actually not healthy that that person is like that. And it's sort of like what I've noticed as well, people are afraid to tell other people that, oh, hey, you know, you should you know, if I'm concerned about that, like someone's getting overweight, and I mean including myself, you know, people are afraid to say it, but you shouldn't be. Like, you know, if you care about someone, you should be able to say, like, hey, I think you could do with like looking after yourself a bit more. And if you are, then that's a different story. And you know, if you are healthy and but that's just your body type, that's fine. It's fine if you're a bit bigger or a bit smaller, but it's the fact that it doesn't need to. Don't lose your common sense.
Yeah.
I think it promoting like body positivity.
I think it comes down to that today's day and age, people are just super sensitive to everyone, and to have an opinion that differs from someone else hurts other people. Like, take for instance, like I got a personal thing, like if I was to say, is like, I had a friend recently, like they were going out with someone, wherever it is, and it's all okay, hunky-dory, wherever it is, that friend had an issue with me. Now, I had not the friend had an issue, the friend's guy had an issue with me, right? Now, I got no issue with that. That's fine, whatever it is. They said, oh, it's okay. Whatever happens, happens. And then this person then went... So when my friend went somewhere else, this person, their guy, has gone onto their laptop or phone or whatever it is, read messages of mine, read messages of other friends of my friend, and then walked out. Now, he walked out, went for a walk, came back, and then told my friend, oh... I got a call from our boss, I need to leave, can you help me pack, whatever it is. She had nothing, she didn't know what was going on, she just helped him pack, drove off, he drove off, she stayed, and whatever it is. And then she messaged saying, I hope you had a nice trip, whatever it is. He goes, oh, I'm going to go sleep, didn't really reply back. Whole day was chatting, saying, oh, babe, this, babe, that, whatever it is, acted normal. And then called her, saying that, okay, well, this isn't a conversation, but we're done. Right, and this is after he asked her out for like 2 weeks. Like, I get it, you spoke for 5 months, but then they only asked each other out for 2 weeks. They only met like twice, right? Okay, you asked them out, whatever it is, fine. Now, I don't condone the way that breakup happened, right? The fact that the guy was, mind my words, but a fucking dickhead, pussy, motherfucker who just ran off. Didn't want to confront in person, had all these things to say. Man even said, oh, I told my mom about you and she says all these bad stuff and all this. Yeah. And I'm just like, for you to go and say all these stuff and to say some of the things, I don't want to repeat everything he said, but like to say all this stuff and to not even come and say it in person, but to run away, come up with some bullshit. Made them help you pack to leave. Yeah. And you had it in your mind you were going to end it. And to call in all this. You're scum. Like, you're the lowest version of any person. You're scum. Now, my friend's a fucking retarded person. Like, they called me, they were crying, wherever it is. And obviously, me being there as a friend, I'll be like, okay, yeah. I kind of realized this type of shit might have happened anyway, because my friend is a retarded motherfucker. And I've told them this. But
okay,
yeah.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah,
Call us friend, I'm retarded motherfucker.
Yeah. If you're reading this, you're a retarded motherfucker again. But yeah, I'm reading this if you're hearing this, right? But yeah, but it's like,
who's the retarded motherfucker now?
Yeah, but like I stayed up, whatever, spoke, told them you'll be fine. It's only been 2 weeks anyway that you were together. It's not that big of a deal. I understand you thought this might have been a close person, but true characters of a person comes out. Like it doesn't matter how successful or how good they are, which this guy was. He was a tried accountant. But he still treated her like that, and I'm just like, listen, this happens, whatever it is, and it's great saying, oh, I don't want to know about your ex, I don't want to know about this person, oh, your best friend's a guy, whatever it is, and it's like, okay, fine, no worries. But then when you ask someone out, and then they say, yeah, now your girlfriend, boyfriend, now suddenly it's all an issue for you. Like, I'm sorry, you get your fucking priorities.
Yeah.
What, like, don't come in with false information, and then you actually want everything to know. You want to know everything in the end. Like, I knew it was gonna happen. I've literally told them. They say they don't want to know, but they will want to know later on. Like,
okay, so keeping on track. The point of the story.
Keeping on the track is that okay. So she was crying, wherever, spoke it out. That's fine. Now a month later, no, it was a month later. Well, a couple of weeks later, I messaged it again saying, "Yo, might be coming down. All this, can you do this?" And I was like, "Can you help me out?" So she was meant to help me out with this company business thing that I'm helping. Just to try on the samples and stuff, and she goes, I can't try on the samples and all this. Now I have no issue with that. That's fine. You got no issue. And I had a plan also to see my other friend, Cher. I wanted to see Cher as well. And I said we could all hang out, we can all meet up and all this. But then she goes, oh, I'm kind of back with this guy. And then I just said I can't be asked. I literally just messaged saying ICBA. I can't be asked for this. Like that's it, done. And then I ended the conversation. And then she was like, oh no. I was like. She's like, what's your opinion? Like, what do you mean you can't be asking all this? And I know for a fact, people, as I said, today's day and age is very sensitive. And I don't like to go out there to hurt people if I really care about you, wherever it is. So I went out with the intention of saying, listen, there's nothing wrong. I left it open as it is. And I tried to prolong it. It might be bad, but I left it prolonged because I don't want to be like, you're a stupid motherfucker for doing this. But then they kept messaging me. And they keep going like, oh, you don't take anything seriously, you don't do whatever. And they all talk so big. Everyone talks so big. And so then I said, okay, if you want my honest opinion, I'll tell you. Yeah? You're a stupid motherfucker who took this person back, right? Someone who treated you like shit, who, like, not as a person, but like the way they broke up with you, treated you like shit, drove away, did all this stuff, said all these things to you, said it's not even a conversation, it's his decision, whatever it is. Didn't think once about you but thought about themselves, and then you take them back just because we talked it out, we sorted it out. I don't see how that works. I think you're stupid, where is, and I said you're a fucking stupid motherfucker. Like I literally said that. And then they came out with paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, and it's not like backing their point or going against me. All they could say is, we talked about things you don't know about. And I said, okay, that's fine. But they couldn't leave it there. They then attack you as a person. They attack you. Be like, oh, you've made mistakes. You've done things. Your past, your people, whatever it is. And I'm just like, you asked my opinion. Opinion isn't fact. Opinion is someone's thought process, right? There's no fact to an opinion. There's no right or wrong. I could be wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. And I've even said that. I hope I'm wrong and whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand why you gotta come in and attack me. And I'll be talking to people. I just like, I have no problem. Say if you have an idea and someone's defending your idea, and you'd be like, no, I think it's a really good idea because of this.
Yeah.
But to go and attack the person who had a different idea to you, or a different value or opinion or something, that to me is what this society has kind of turned into. You can have an opinion. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion. It might not match up with everyone or the majority, but it doesn't mean that their opinion isn't valid, because it isn't fact, it's just their thoughts.
Yeah.
Everyone is free to thought. We talk about everyone has a free right to speech and to talk.
Yeah.
Then give that to them. But then you shouldn't have to belittle them and berate them.
Bro,
and attack them.
Freedom of speech, just on a separate note, freedom of speech is so simple. Yeah, so it's really, really complicated. Well, I mean, I guess we can talk about that on another episode, but carry on.
No, but it's like, I understand everyone has their own opinion, and it hurts. Truth hurts, opinions hurt. Not saying it's fact or anything, but it all hurts wherever it is. But then to attack someone for their opinion, as I see, is like, people berated that politician because of what she said. Like, I want my manly men and all this. Like, they attacked her for it. People who have opinions in today's day and age are attacked. Look at cancel culture. Like, yes, people make mistakes, and some mistakes are not opinion, they're just stupid stuff that they put out there. But those who put their opinion of, say if you're a Republican or Democrat and you put your opinion out there, why does it matter to anyone else? You go vote for who you want, let them vote for who they want, and hopefully your person wins. You get me?
I think there's I think generally, obviously society should, and naturally it becomes more progressive, and I think what a lot of people, I'm not saying worry is the right word, but what people want in people who represent them, like celebrities, like politicians, like any sort of cultural gatekeeper, like the people at Vogue or whatever, people who have influence, they want society to be represented in a fair and equal way.
Yeah.
And something that is inclusive for all. And I think when that progresses, what sort of hinders that is people aren't ready. Some people aren't ready for being that progressive, but because as a society we're being forced into, some people feel we're being forced into, being politically correct, having those progressive viewpoints, that that is the way it should be, and a lot of people are frustrated by that now, and that comes to the fact where people can't speak their opinions because they feel like they're going to be slated by everyone on fucking Twitter and social media, and it's a massive problem. Like, people need to have honest conversations about the type of prejudices that still exist, and at the end of the day it's all about education. Like like I said to you before, like, I used to be well homophobic and now I'm not, but it's education. People need to take time to understand, and you could disagree with someone's views 100%, but don't think about why they're saying it. Think about, don't just discount them saying, oh, they're a dickhead, man, like, what waste, man. It's more complicated than that. People have opinions form over so much time, through so much experiences. If you don't agree with someone, that's fine. And if you truly feel that what they're saying is wrong, that's also fine. But instead of like calling them out and being like, hey, I hate you, and sending them hate, just have a conversation. And I think both sides, both let's say, if you want to put it left and right, have lost that ability to sort of communicate and have a conversation. They just like hate each other. Like, people on the right would be like, oh, you're an idiot, you're too progressive, you're too woke. People on the left would be like, oh, you're not progressive enough, you have a lot of prejudice, whatever. But people aren't having those conversations that need to be had. And it's with those conversations that we'll move forward as a society, because people won't think, not everyone will think the correct way or what you think is correct.
Yeah.
And it's complicated. I think people 100% becoming a lot too sensitive. But like I was also saying, it's a deeper issue. Like, role models have such a massive responsibility of, what they represent, and how they affect other people's thinking. So it's important for them, to an extent, to be, to have the correct opinion. But at the same time, it's just annoying when their opinion isn't as correct or woke as it should be.
I mean, we're living in a society where you can never be woke enough. It comes to a point where everyone will turn on everyone because you're not being as open. You get me? Everyone's coming out with some next, like being heterosexual, gay, wherever it is. Like, people are coming with different terms for everything now. There's no winning with anyone. You can't say he, she, it. Now you gotta. I swear the vice president's coming out and is coming and saying all the ways she wants to be called. He goes, hi, I'm known as she or it or wherever it is.
But again, I think that's something that, we may not understand, and I personally struggle understanding things when it comes to gender identity. But it's about being accepting. I see a lot of people on work emails now put he, she, him, her, and to me, okay, I'm not. I don't fully understand it, but you say it's about accepting people, and that them doing that, and people in public places doing this allows society to become more accepting of things that we don't understand.
But you say
and
accepting,
we need to learn
but when
about.
does that stop? When does that stop? We're just continuously accepting.
But the thing is, it
so
can
then we
never
never win.
Yeah,
no one ever wins.
Yeah, but if you put it proper deep, like there's no end point with human society. Like we continue to evolve. You know what we think is so normal now. 50 years ago was unheard of. Like if you look back to just an easy example, a woman's role in society. Oh, cook, clean. The man does all the work, goes to work, and the woman cooks, cleans, look after the baby. Now, as a society, now we generally think that's pretty wrong. If a woman has every right to have a career and have a good life outside of the home, that's not just their role. But 50 years ago, that's like shit, man. That's normal. So it's like society always progresses, and it will continue to progress. So there's no end point. And the thing about hey, you're not woken up. For me, it's more about you need to understand people's points of view, where they're coming from, and not cancel them. But at the same time, you need to understand that naturally people become more progressive, because that's just how society progresses. Like things change because people are progressive, and if you look back at history, it's been proven to be right. So we may not understand it, but it's making sure that people feel included, people feel safe in society, and that's where the role models and the people who have influence need to be careful in what they say, and we as a society need to be smart enough not to cancel them if they say something wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's great points that you're making, and I think we'll leave it there today with that. Woke people are stupid. No, I'm joking. But,
no, what?
No.
The Waffle Podcast is not officially endorsed that.
No. But that we're not ever stopping. We're always developing as human beings, and I think that's a great point that 100%. You're making, and that everyone's open to their opinions and shouldn't be attacked for their opinions. That is a great one, and just help as many people as you can.
This was a really I think this was a really good episode. I think I'm glad you brought that up, and I think in future episodes there are so many different strands as part of this topic that we could probably delve into.
Yeah.
But damn, that was some deep shit, man.
Okay, done.